Good evening and salutations, my Y&R fans. Victoria. Victoria. You know, I'm gonna try something a little bit different. I'm gonna try something a little bit different. I'm gonna try not to be that much of a dick like I usually am. Because on one hand, I understand that Victoria, it's not so much she's worried about Johnny and Chelsea and how Chelsea's gonna affect Johnny and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a part of it, okay? But I think what she's really upset with when she finds out from Billy that, they're going out to dinner and everything like that is that she doesn't want, like, she's not she's not Johnny's biological son. I mean, Johnny's not her biological son. And I guess in some sort of way, maybe she's feeling insecure. Maybe she feels like the more that Johnny spends time with Chelsea, the more that more he'll see in her different life. And I guess in some sort of way, she doesn't want Johnny to love Chelsea more than he loves her. And while on one hand, it may seem kind of selfish, on the other hand, she's always going to consider Johnny her son regardless of DNA or not. And so it's understandable. It's understandable. But later on throughout the episode, she does get to sit there and see Johnny and Connor and Adam, just kind of hanging out and stuff like that because, she was worried. And Billy's like, yo, just chill out. They're going to be fine. Just relax. And she's like, I want to see it with my own eyes. So they go to society because clearly there's only two. Well, okay, I guess there's technically three restaurants. There's technically three places in town now. But she goes over there to see them, just kind of hanging out and everything like that. And she realizes everything is fine. But you can see a bit of sadness there. So, they do kind of invite themselves over to say, hey, what's going on? How's everything, how's everyone going tonight and stuff like that. And, you know, um, I think Chelsea, it was either Chelsea or Adam, one of those two invited them to stay, kind of stay for dinner and stuff like that and hang out. And, they all wound up hanging out and stuff. And it's snowing and stuff like that. So, it's kind of a nice little moment, I guess. I mean, here's the thing. I give Victoria a lot of crap. I do. I mean, hell, I called her the Ice Princess for a reason. But on this occasion, I can understand a little bit where she's coming from, you know? I wonder what's going on with Daniel and his wife and his daughter because whatever it is, every time Summer or Phyllis or Lily brings up the subject, he's constantly dodging around it. He's constantly sitting there trying to change the subject and everything like that. And I have a feeling that his wife is left him, divorced, or something like that. Separated, whatever you want to sit there and call it, they're not together. And I don't want to sit there and sound, you know what, I'm just not going to sit there. I'm just not going to say it. But I'm just going to assume that it was his fault somehow. Because for some odd reason, when in doubt, it's his fault. I'm just being serious about that. But he hangs out with Summer and Kyle for a little bit. He's asking them where they're going, and they're being kind of cagey about it. He goes back to his hotel and he meets his dad. I guess his dad is named Danny. I'm assuming. I'm not too sure, but he's in town. Summer and Kyle make it to the cabin, and at first no one's there. But later, Diane, she comes back and they get to hang out and stuff like that. So they got a nice little Christmas. But I'm gonna be honest. I'm like, Was that really worth it? You know, if Jeremy was to find out, they'll be right back to square one. And for what? Like for what? You couldn't sit there and do a Skype call or anything like that. I mean, that's the thing. Just saying, it is 2022, moving into 2023. Um, I can't believe Jack actually offered Jeremy $500,000. I'm already upset with the fact that he offered him anything to make this whole Diane situation go away. I'm like, yo, listen, put that chick on a payment plan or something. He was angry because they went back to the room and he's all like, you feel like you're jerking me around. You know, you say you knew when Diane was, and of course he was going to sit there and tell him. But he was like, you know, I'm gonna sit there and up it a little bit on our deal. We'll sit there and go with $1 million. Get half of it now, the other half of it later on. I'm like, you gonna sit there? I'm like, Diane's gonna sit there and bankrupt the Abbots. You gonna bankrupt this family with the way that I don't understand that she's cool with Jack fighting her battles. Okay, whatever, fine. But Kyle, like she's okay with Kyle, fighting Jeremy Stark. A recently released convicted ex-con. What is wrong with you? Why would you? I'm gonna be honest. I didn't really care that much about this Sally and Nick stuff. I mean, it was kind of interesting, finding out Sally's past, about her working, her being kind of a carny, I guess, her family being nomads, traveling from place to place, um, kind of like a carnival circus and stuff like that. So it was kind of interesting. But then they talked about the Nick stuff with his kids, and I was just like, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, it's great that you're a great dad, and don't get me wrong, the world needs more people, more men. Okay, let more men to actually be fathers. Um, but besides that, it was just like I really didn't care. The only thing that was actually of interest was when she was about to get up, she felt something, and she was like, this hot chocolate is in the green room. We all know what that means. Okay, it's not the hot chocolate. It's the fact that 97% chance that she's pregnant. And it's either going to be Nick, it's going to be Adam. It just, here's the thing. I know they've been doing that for years. Okay? That's the thing that people are just used to, them going after the same woman. Me, on the other hand, I'm not used to that. I'm really not used to that. And I'm like, bro, you literally just was like, you walked into a room where they literally just did all sorts of adult things, and you stayed. You stayed in a room that smelled like regret and desperation. I feel like that's about it. Um, it wasn't the worst episode, but in a lot of ways, it reminded me of GH. Like it was very slow, and maybe that has a lot to do with the holiday season. But in reality, even if it is the holiday season, it shouldn't stop these soap operas from being good, from making you feel like when the episode's over, you can't wait to watch the next episode. Like this episode was just like, all right, this is okay. I guess I can miss the next episode or not. I mean, whatever. Um, Daniel's dad coming to Genoa City seemed like it's kind of interesting. Only thing that was really interesting was Jeremy and Jack. And everything else, for the most part, just kind of fell down the wayside for the most part. You know? I feel like this is, well, maybe with the Sally stuff. I feel like sometimes with these episodes, some of these episodes you could just skip. Some of them you could just skip. Others, it's worth watching. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. But before I go, I will be doing a live stream tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. So, if it's more YNR stuff you want to sit there and talk about, definitely join the live stream tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. And with that being said, I'm going to go. Thank you for watching. Be safe, and I'll see you in the next video.